Go live. Hello, Baltimore. What is up, Baltimore? It's your show again, Late Night Baltimore, with all the great news of the day. The Orioles won today, and we're going to talk about getting away from something we like to call the both sidesers, because it's too late for that. All right. While we wait, we will play the intro, because I just love my intro. And here we go. Yeah, baby. How are y'all doing today? And a beautiful day in Baltimore. And the Orioles won. And we're getting right onto the topic. And we're going to give you our examples of those who aren't both sidesers. Now, as you can see, if you're watching it in the mobile version, you see on top, Trump term ends in 964 days. If you're watching it on widescreen, you see it's same thing, Trump ending term in 964 days. And that's all great news. All right, now, tonight, we're not sipping tea here in Baltimore. We're going to throw the whole kettle at both sidesers. Somebody else wrote that line for me. We're talking about those fake progressives who love to wrap themselves in the blue filter when it's convenient, but then they spend all their time protecting themselves from MAGA, giving MAGA the benefit of the doubt. They're not balanced. They aren't nuanced. They're just scared about picking a real fight or taking a stand. And that's how they are. So let's think of the ones who aren't both sidesers, it's hard to say, and the ones who are. Now, as I was saying, before I was so rudely interrupted by my own self, we'll start with the media frauds. Who are they? Well, we've talked about them before. Stephen Colbert show was canceled, finished his show this last week. Well, you know whose show is not finished? Jimmy Fallon. His show is still going on. Why? Because he is a both sidesers. But let's talk about the big media frauds. The Washington Post and the New York Times. These newspapers, they treat fascism like it's just some spicy opinion. On the one hand, they argue about mass deportations, but on the other hand, maybe it's not so bad. It's not journalism. It's performance art. It's playing to where the money is. They're afraid of MAGA because MAGA controls everything. So they're trying to protect themselves. They care more about themselves than they do about getting out the truth. And that's the New York Times and Washington Post we're talking about. USA and both papers put up a paywall so the general public can't get to it anyway. USA Today and CBS News are right there with them. CBS News, when it hired, what's her name? What is that woman's name? I can't even think of it right now. That hideous woman they have at CBS News now, who loves MAGA, who is MAGA, and now CBS News is falling way behind in the ratings because of that fake neutrality and stopping stories that have anything negative to do with the Donald. If they fake their neutrality because they're running in fear. Now we think about the influencer side, like Late Night Baltimore. Hey, we're not both sidesers. But who is? The Young Turks. They used to be strongly progressive. Now they're always talking about Trump voters, giving them like, well, some of them have legitimate economic anxiety. Man, they're voting to burn the whole country down and asking for marshmallows. You have to pick a side at this point. It's too late to try to think you're understanding the other side. The 32% MAGA, man, they're gone, daddy gone. It's too late for them. They don't want you, and you don't want them. But they really don't want you. You can invite them to your Thanksgiving all you want. That doesn't make any difference. Who cares about that? Just don't vote with them or act like you agree with them, because they are some dark people. They're part of a death cult, and get away from them as far as possible. Let's see, where else? Oh, we were talking about late night host Jimmy Fallon. Man, that guy has been doing both sides since he's been ruining sketches with his breaking during the sketch. All right, that's some of who we're talking about. Let's do some more. Get some more info out there for you. Hope everybody likes the new background. It's all fancy, and we think it's up there with the all the other cool kids. We'll get to them in a second. The cool kids. But we're going to talk about politicians now. You know, what we like to call the ones who are just picking because they think they'll get their vote in the party, and and they don't have to worry about MAGA putting a target on them. I'm talking about the fakest man in town, John Fetterman. He used to be what people call a populist, wearing that hoodie, thinking he was so cool. Now he's on Fox News more, trashing Democrats than he's doing anything else. He's pretending to be a Democrat, and he's using, but he's MAGA all the way. Now we think about the fence sitters in Congress, the ones who think what's going on in our country is a normal policy debate instead of the horrible authoritarian grab. The Democrats who keep showing up on right-wing media to tell them what they want to hear. Clout chasers with pensions, that's what we call them. But now let's talk about some of the good folk. And we're going to show clips of all of these people. Kyle Kalinske on Secular Talk. Entertaining, honest. You can depend on him, trustworthy. His wife, Crystal Ball, does a podcast herself. No filter, doesn't compromise himself, hasn't. Hal Sparks is another one. He does a lot of media beef stuff, but he's right there on the issues. Incredibly bright person, comedian. Also, great place to get your news. Jack, I don't know. I know he never says his last name. Cucchiarelli. Just a guy standing behind in front of a paneled wall with a fern, but he has clips, and he gets to the point. He speaks clearly. Young guy, entertaining, very well researched, smart. We can't forget the king of all, Midas Touch. You should be watching Midas Touch. If you're not, something's wrong with you. Midas Touch, the Midas Touch Network. They have a bunch of shows, and all their shows are outstanding. And we can't forget our boy, Adam Mockler. Guess what? This guy, he looks like he's 12 years old, but I'll tell you one thing. No MAGA wants to debate him on television. I can tell you that, unless they have editing, because he'll kick their ass. That's what we need. We need more people like that. That's the kind of people we're talking about. So, you know, the stakes are too high these days for neutrality bullshit. If you're still both sides and well, your rights are getting taken away, rolled back, and MAGA is doing what it wants, exactly the way it wants, then you're not progressive. Get out of the way. Let the people who are really fighting for an honorable return to the American Democratic Republic dream that we want, Constitution, rule of law, equal protection under the law, rights for everyone, for every individual. That's the country that we're fighting for. If you don't want to, if you think you have to make that nuanced, then we got no time for you. All right. Before we go, I am going to try to do some clips of some of these shows if you don't know who they are. So this gets a little clumsy sometimes, but I'm going to see what I can do. Let's go to Secular Talk first. This is Kyle Klinsky. Let's just see. Whatever he has up, we will show a clip of. Let's see. What has he done out lately? Let's see. 2 days ago, 4 days ago. What does he have live here going on? All right. His videos. One day ago, he put out, this court decision will make you want to, and it's redacted. This is a day ago. Right, let's see a little clip of this.
My wife stopped trusting me because I never do the things I say I'll do. She just doesn't.
Hold on now, everybody. Share this damn screen. Where is it?
It's been out for 3 weeks.
Kitchen light.
My wife asked me to change it on day 1. She reminded me.
All right, here you go.
She stopped reminding and
Let's move on. I wanted to show you this, Crystal. This is incredible to me. In fact, I thought this was fake when I first saw it. Throw this up on screen here. A judge has ruled that corporations can vote in some Delaware elections. Delaware Superior Court Judge Craig Karsnitz said the town of Fenwick Island was not diluting human votes by allowing companies and other legal entities that own property to cast votes in municipal elections. That is literally like he's waging a war on math to say something like that. They continue here. These legal entities and corporations make up about 12% of registered voters in the town. In total, Delaware has far more corporations chartered in the state than residents. Karsnitz rejected the constitutional arguments of the ACLU, including the claim that entity or corporate voting dilutes the political power of living people. So insane. I was like, this got to be fake. This is like the fake it, right? There's no way. And it's more perfect union, totally legitimate outlet.
No, I went too, and I was like, maybe there's something like some catch here, something that's a little bit under the surface that makes this not what it appears to be. No, I read a bunch of articles about it. It is exactly as presented.
I need the next Democratic president to immediately open an investigation into this judge. Immediately. Because there is no, like, I could sit here and try to steelman the argument that the judge made. It's not possible. It is insane to effectively dilute or strip away the voting rights of Americans for corporations. Meanwhile, this happening the same time the Supreme Court gutted the Voting Rights Act. So they're taking away the voting rights of Black people while they're giving voting rights to corporations.
Okay.
I think this follows perfectly logically from the.
That's good. That's both of them. Okay, let's see if we can see Hal Sparks. He's cool. That's a great show. You got to see Hal Sparks. By the way, on this network, we are going to begin Dean. Remember Dean? He's going to start a show, but it's Dolphins. It's not Ravens. But that's all right. It's going to be on part of this. All right, let's see. We are going to now join Hal Sparks here, if I can get it right. Now, hold on, everybody. That's music in the background. It's just old Hal being old Hal. Here he is.
Okay, we're up on those.
On just now. Okay, let's just jump to any part here. Oh, everything you said.
Oh, that's so sweet. Hal Vickery, thank you so much for that. Yeah. Hopefully you can
And
still.
Angela C.P. Mills is also, she's worried that you're burning the candle at both ends.
And trying to light the middle. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's true.
He's funny. He's cool.
3 million barrels already. As Trump
And
drill
factual.
baby drills, and as he opens Venezuela, and if you take the sanctions off of Russia, and if we ever normalize any of these places, we will be producing oil at 6 to 8 million barrels a day more than we use worldwide. And that will continue to grow with the electrification of cars in Europe first, then the United States and Canada and Mexico. That's the way things are headed. That's the 10-year trajectory. Everybody knows it, including the Saudis, including the Oman and the UAE. That's why the UAE left OPEC Plus, so they can take advantage of this last chance to sell oil at the highest price they can get it for, because they know it's on its way out. You do not, if you're the head of Saudi Arabia and you're an oil-rich country, start turning your country into a FinSec and tourist country if you think oil has a future. And the only way you're going to drive oil prices up temporarily so you can unload what you do have and pull in as much cash for it as possible is if you artificially upend supply.
There you go. Outstanding. Okay, let's see. Now we're going to check Cucchiarelli. What's that fellow's name? What is that guy's name? What's that fellow's name? The guy with the big hair and the fern. What's his first name? Yeah, there he is. Jack Cucchiarelli. Okay, let's see what he's been up to. He also is good. He's got some the hair is hilarious. Okay. We're going to look at him.
Hey, everybody. It's Mark Kelly, and I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, here's a Mark Kelly ad, and that's good.
Let me tell you
We'll watch
why
that.
I'm here this weekend instead of back in Arizona.
With my grandkid. It's because this Senate race here in Georgia is the most important Senate race in the country. Donald Trump won here in Georgia, and John Ossoff right now needs your help. So please chip in $5, $10, $15, $20, anything you can afford to help him, to make sure that he has the resources for this election in November. And thank you very much.
Okay, that's cool. That's Mark Kelly talking about John Ossoff.
Donald Trump has dementia, and everybody can see it. Every time that he speaks and then forgets what he said moments before, every time Donald Trump is asked a question and just can't remember the answer that his handlers told him to give, every time Donald Trump is in public, it becomes even clearer that he is in deep cognitive decline. And that is what we saw once again. His dementia caught on camera, and it comes as doctors are calling out the fact that Donald Trump's brain don't thunk no good no more. And Donald Trump is bragging that it does, when it does not, only cementing the fact that the White House is hiding and Donald Trump, he is deteriorating before our very eyes. Now, I want to get to the moment when Donald Trump's dementia was caught on camera that his handlers are terrified of. But I first want to start with Dr. Jonathan Reiner, who has been making headlines all week after Donald Trump's visit to Walter Reed, in which he assessed what amounted to a non-visit, just like a fake visit, a performative visit from Trump that we have no info on, especially when it relates to Donald Trump's cognitive state.
Again, that it looks like they once again tested the president with the MOCA test. That's really not that useful when you take it over and over and over again, because the questions don't really change that much.
This is the cognitive test that you're referring to?
Yeah, the Montreal Cognitive Assessment Test. The 30 questions. Test. It begins with sort of connect the dots. They ask you to to draw a clock at a certain time. They ask you to sketch a cube, copy a cube. They show you 3 animals. And they ask you to count backwards from 100 by 7. And then, the test ends essentially with asking you to name the day, date, month, and place. So it's not a difficult test. And once you've taken it now 4 times, it's probably not that difficult to pretty easily get through it. And
we all know
it shouldn't be hard to get through it anyway, because it's a dementia screening test, not an IQ test.
Yeah, the president is one to regularly brag that he aces that test. So we see that he's taken it yet again in this latest physical.
Donald Trump didn't get a real cognitive screening. That is what is clear. Anytime that they are doing scans for Donald Trump, at this point, I think it has become performative. And this is a kind of a theory that my friend Jennifer Welch had. I'm sure y'all are fans of the I've Had It podcast, but she said that Donald Trump probably online scrolling one night saw like a free IQ test. He clicked on it and he did horribly. And ever since then, he has been obsessed with having a high IQ. It's why he talks about Jasmine Crockett or AOC. It's mostly, women and women of color, people having low IQs, because Donald Trump himself actually does, and he's obsessed with that concept. And so he likes to frame these tests as IQ tests rather than tests of whether or not he should be able to drive and speak in public, which of course we know the answer to that is no. And it's why Donald Trump does big boasts, big brags like this in his Truth Social post, which funny enough came hours after the moment that he forgot his own presidency on camera. So Donald Trump took to Truth Social this morning at 5:35 a.m. in the wake of us all seeing his dementia on camera to write, "The results of my physical examination taken at Walter Reed Military Medical Center and just released were extremely good, the most extreme good. Unlike other U.S. presidents, none of whom have ever taken an approved high difficulty cognitive test, I scored a perfect 30 out of 30, considered extreme intelligence." Again, this is not an IQ test, not an aptitude test. It's a are you cognitively there test. They ask you the date. Are the Democrats really surprised? In fact, this is my 4th such test, all perfect, or 120 correct answers out of 120 correct questions asked. It is very rare that anyone gets a perfect score, especially when achieved 4 times in a row. Again, Donald Trump is taking the same exact test. All people running for president and vice president should be forced to take high difficulty cognitive tests. Congress and Democrats should demand it. President Donald J. Trump. Now, it's funny, Trump posted this in response to him, of course, forgetting everything and showing us his dementia on camera. But he doesn't remember that he previously said that Congress can't do it, that it's illegal to ask people to take cognitive tests, which that's just not the case. So that's another thing that he forgot. But I always try to make clear whenever this comes up, this is not a happy test. Again, it's not an IQ test to see how smart you are. This is a very sad test that you would give to a loved one if you were worried that maybe they need some support at home or being moved to a home, or maybe that there is something deeper wrong with them. Because again, dementia can develop early on in people. That's the type of test that Donald Trump is taking. It's not how jolly and great and really up for the job you are, which is why no one is surprised that he's bragging about it, because it's a lie. And that's the type of stuff he brags about. But when we're facing facts, when we're facing the truth, when we're facing video, just take a look at Donald Trump forgetting the statement that he made moments before in these 2 back-to-back clips.
Their Navy is totally gone, 100%. Their Air Force is totally gone, 100%. Their military, we've sort of left it alone because we think that their military is somewhat moderate. They have other people that aren't moderate. We've taken them out. We've taken different forms of leadership out. We've actually left their military alone. People would be surprised to hear that, because mistakes have been made in wars where you wipe out everybody and then you have a country that's, for 40 years can never rebuild. You look at what happened with Iraq. Iran is in a very bad position. They have no military. All they have is good talk, and they have a fake press. The fake news is probably their biggest asset. And I put something out on Truth the other day that I think was very profound. It said that We wipe out their military. We wipe out their Navy, their Air Force, their anti-aircraft. We wipe
A direct flip-flop
From Donald Trump.
All right, that was that. And now, just because we run out of too much time, because we want to show our boy Adam Mockler. Adam, I'm going to send him a razor when he needs to start shaving. This guy is the smartest kid in the school, but the coolest kid in the school. I love this kid. So far, let's see. What's his latest? Okay, videos. 59 minutes ago. Let's see what the old Adamster says. What? All right.
This is the perfect paragraph.
All right, everybody ready?
This is the British magnetic intervention. This taps on the vaccine. Cables, yes.
Remember.
10,000 milliamp hours and just
All right, here we
clocks in.
go.
All right, everybody. I just want to live in a normal country once again. Is that too much to ask for, just to have a normal country around me? As I make this video, the President of the United States is having a full-blown temper tantrum because his America 250 celebration is unraveling in front of his eyes due to his own actions. So one more time, I would like to have a normal country where the president is focused on healthcare rather than placing his name on every single building and coin that he can find. I want a normal country where American workers are prioritized rather than Donald Trump's ballroom being prioritized. I would rather these forever wars in the Middle East to stop so we can reallocate that money towards people who need it in America. I want a normal country, and every single time Donald Trump appears in front of a screen or a camera or on social media, he makes this country less normal. Exhibit A. Like, just look at this BS right here. Dion says, the world's largest Trump flag will look gorgeous against a blue reflecting pool background. It will be unfurled every single day for Trump's 250th birthday party in DC. First of all, they make it sound like Trump is 250 years old in this. But second of all, Trump's birthday is coinciding with the America 250 celebration. They're about 20 days apart, and he's intentionally trying to throw this massive celebration for himself while the American people are struggling. It's actually quite a picture to have in your head. It's like the bottom 95% of Americans are currently struggling, and our savings are being eaten up while debt increases, while prices increase, gas prices increase. And Trump is so laser focused on his ballroom, the reflecting pool in America 250, that the rest of America might as well be left behind. I mean, the guy literally admitted on the White House front lawn that he doesn't think about the pocketbooks of Americans. But check this out. This is them unraveling the Trump flag near the reflecting pool. You can see all the MAGA hats here. It's almost unraveling as much as Trump's entire presidency is, but they're apparently going to be doing this every single day as some weird symbolic gesture. And then the National Guard is there helping them, showing them what they can do. What kind of dystopian society do we live in? Again, I'm going to repeat the same thing. I just want to live in a normal America where the National Guard is in their own state helping their citizens when needed. And where these Trump goons who are unraveling this flag, I mean, they have the freedom to do this. I'm not saying they shouldn't be free to do it, but don't you have better things to do in American society than doing this? Okay, enough of this Trump flag that they're apparently going to be unraveling every single day. Let me show you the actual meltdown that Donald Trump said, where he went, F it, just cancel it. He wants to cancel one or two of the events because people are dropping out, and he wants to replace them with MAGA rallies. It's actually effing insane. Let me show you these photos right here that we have. On screen now, we have exclusive satellite images revealing rapid, simultaneous construction overhauls across the National Mall, the White House grounds, and the Ellipse. The high-resolution overhead images track the progress of 3 highly publicized and controversial projects ahead of the nation's 250th anniversary celebrations this summer. That is not including the ballroom Donald Trump is asking for $1 billion for, and that is not including other renovations throughout DC. This is just for America 250. And let me be nuanced here. I'm not inherently against celebrations for America's birthday. I'm not even against, having concerts or celebrations at the National Mall, but this is turned into a narcissistic, masturbatory, grandiose display that is very clearly meant for Trump's own ego. Exhibit A, I guess I already did Exhibit A a bit ago, so this is Exhibit B now. Exhibit B, we see the UFC ring being built on the White House front lawn, and even people like Joe Rogan, like credible UFC people, are saying this is a really bad idea.
The White House thing is odd. I don't like it. I don't like the idea of fighting outside at all.
Well, there's problems with it.
And then
Done it too many
it's
times.
June, and it's DC, and we looked it up the last time, like last year, same day, it was 100 degrees.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
hot as fuck.
Then you add the lights. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the lights.
You add the lights.
Yeah,
That attracts bugs.
How about dehydration?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's all for that. We're using a lot of other people's stuff. That's all right. Just wanted to show you if you're not familiar with those shows. Anyway, stick up for your rights. Stick up for Democrats, real Democrats. We're fighting MAGA, and keep fighting MAGA. Go to Act Blue and donate to candidates from across the country because they need it. Like one of the most important, as we heard Mark Kelly add, is John Ossoff. Okay, that's the news from Baltimore. That's how we see it. Hope everybody has a great rest of the Sunday. The Orioles won. Leave your comments. Just tell us what you think of the new background, and really throw in something nice about my damn haircut, because I'm very sensitive about that. Anyway, okay, F MAGA. Keep fighting the fight, and we will talk to you all next time on Late Night Baltimore.
Big Rooster.